Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's Menopause Matters Live. And today I'm talking about how to identify mineral imbalances. Now, this last 2 weeks, I have been talking a lot about minerals and mineral imbalances and why they're so important to your health, your menopause health, but not just your menopause health, just health in general. And why they are critical if you want to resolve your symptoms of perimenopause or menopause. And so today I want to talk about why, how rather we can identify mineral imbalances and what we can do about it. So first off, let's talk about the basics. So we, first of all, want to be assessing our daily diet. Where do our minerals come from? They come from external sources. We can't manufacture minerals in our bodies. We can some vitamins, but minerals are something that we have to get from external sources. They're called what we call essential because we can't make them, so we have to consume them somehow. They've got to somehow get into our body. It can be through food, water, or even through our skin. And when someone works with me, whichever way they're working with me, I always look at their food journal. I ask them to journal for 5 days, giving me a breakdown of what they're eating over 5 to 7 days so that I can see a good snapshot of what their daily diet is like. And I always ask them to do this at the very start because I want people to be honest. And if they start going through the program, they will very quickly learn where they've been doing things that perhaps they shouldn't. And so they start to change things. So I get them to do that. And that really gives me an idea of whether somebody is likely to be lacking these minerals in their diet. So that's the first thing. Are we consuming mineral-rich foods like leafy green vegetables, nuts, seeds, dairy to some degree, meat, fish? If we're not, then we have to, look at whether we are going to be deficient or depleted in those minerals. Variety is really important with your diet. Something that I always say to my clients is, if you're eating the same meal day in, day out, most people tend to eat the same breakfasts and often the same lunches, especially if they're working and they find something that they like and then they just have it over and over and over again. If you think about it, if you do that, you're going to be very restricted on the variety of minerals and vitamins and other nutrients that you get from food because you're having the same thing every day, and those foods have only got a finite number of different things in them and amounts. So variety is really important. I really try and encourage people to eat lots of different types of foods for breakfast, not just have the same things every day, and lunches. People tend to be better with dinners, but breakfasts, is definitely one that people get stuck with. And probably it's the meal that most people really struggle to get right. It's the one that they have the most problems with when we start changing things and getting them to eat different things. So in terms of symptoms, there are lots of different symptoms that we can identify that can help us to give an indication of which minerals might be out of balance. So when somebody starts working with me, the second thing that they do, apart from the food journal, is to complete a very detailed health questionnaire. And the health questionnaire goes through, apart from the general food questions and lifestyle, etc., it also asks them about their different body systems. So it's asking very structured questions relating to different body systems, and that gives me an indication of whether there is a problem with, for example, stomach health, large intestine, small intestine, liver. If the liver's not detoxing properly, I can get that kind of information from it. It might be the thyroid, the adrenals. It's a really good indicator for me before I get anywhere close to seeing any tests. I've already got a very good idea of where somebody's big pain points are. And when we're looking at symptoms, I mean, is there really a symptom that isn't related in some way to mineral imbalance or mineral deficiency or mineral excess or heavy metal excess? Not really. Most symptoms, there will be an element because, as I've said before, and I keep on saying, minerals are the absolute foundations to your health. They're foundational. They're the spark plugs for the body. Without them, nothing else works properly. So it's really important to focus on minerals when you are trying to heal or deal with symptoms, because if you don't, you're kind of missing a big piece of the puzzle. I call them the missing piece of the puzzle because very few people are looking at them. Even in the natural health world, it's not focused on. We're not taught it properly in our training, and therefore it is really not focused on in the way that it should be. So things like fatigue, if you can't lose weight, low moods, mood swings, anxiety, muscle spasms, irregular heartbeats, very common with women going through perimenopause. And actually there is a direct mineral relation, it's related to mineral imbalances too, not just loss of hormones. Weakness in the muscles, skin issues, loss of hair or dry hair, hair not growing, very much related to imbalances in minerals, digestive issues, sleep issues like insomnia or waking up lots of times during the night. The list goes on. And from those symptoms, we can get an idea of which of our minerals are out of balance. Other things that can indicate whether you might have a mineral imbalance is if you've got any chronic health conditions, but also, do you take any medications? Because certain medications, and you're very rarely told this by your GP, when you're prescribed a medication, they don't go through the list of all the minerals and vitamins that are depleted by those medications. But very often that is the case, depending on what you're on. And so it's really important to know that, because you're not going to be supplementing those missing minerals if you don't know that they're going to be depleted by the medication in the first place. I don't know why it's not shared. I don't think GPs necessarily know it. I'm not sure that they're even taught it. But if you look into it more closely, you can actually find information on which minerals. When I'm working with someone, one of the questions on the health questionnaire is, which medications are you on? Firstly, because I want to look for contraindications to anything I'm going to recommend, because there are sometimes interactions that are unwanted or dangerous. So I have to know that. But also, I want to know whether a medication is going to deplete certain minerals and vitamins, because then that also gives me extra information and insight, so that when I am formulating people's supplements, I know exactly what I am doing on top of their health questionnaire and their mineral test as well, of course. Lifestyle factors. Do you do a lot of physical activity? Is your diet restricted? Are you vegan or vegetarian? Because of course, whilst lots of people do choose this route, it does come with limited nutrients. So if you are vegan or vegetarian, or you're doing keto, or you're doing something where you're cutting out big groups of foods or types of food, then you've got to look at whether you're going to be nutritionally deficient, and especially in minerals. Stress is another one. I'm always looking at somebody's stress, their current stress, but also their historical. So I ask people, have they had anything major go on in their lives in the last few years? Often people's symptoms are triggered by a big event, something happens. It might be something like loss of a relative, like it was for me. It might be a divorce. It might be losing your job. It might be money worries, whatever it is. That can have a huge impact, because when we're stressed, we use a lot more minerals, but we don't necessarily replace them. I know for myself, when I'm very, very stressed or very upset, I don't eat very well. My appetite disappears. And so, and if I do eat, I'm not eating the right foods. And, you know, a lot more carbohydrates and sugar, and probably not the nutritious, mineral-rich foods that I need. And I think others are really similar with that. So, you know, that's something to think about. Hydration levels, do you drink plenty of good quality clean water, or are you drinking tap water? Tap water is absolutely full of rubbish, heavy metals, chlorine, fluoride sometimes, more often now, and hormones and all sorts of things. Nobody should just be drinking water straight out the tap. If you are, I highly recommend that you get yourself a decent water filter. If you want to know the one that I use, then just drop a message in the comments or DM me, and I will share that with you with my discount code. It's the one I recommend to all my clients. But whatever you do, drinking straight tap water is not good, and a Brita filter is not good enough. It only removes not even 50% of the contaminants. So just bear that in mind. Digestive health. Is your digestion good? Do you absorb your nutrients well? If you don't absorb properly, then it doesn't matter how good the food is that you eat. It doesn't matter what minerals and supplements you take. Are you actually going to be able to absorb them properly? Lots of people are told, you know, especially women, that they're iron deficient, for example. It's very rare to be deficient in iron. The body stores a lot of iron. And unless you are vegan or vegetarian, or you have been, you know, you've had very heavy periods as examples, the chances of you being deficient in iron is really slim. Often it's something else, and that something else can be an absorption issue. We have to have good ability to absorb iron in the gut, in the stomach, and if we don't, then we're not going to be getting the benefits of that iron. Supplementing iron won't help because it's, you know, it's an iron absorption issue, not an actual lack of iron in the diet. If you eat meat, if you eat fish, if you eat animal products, you shouldn't be lacking in iron. So digestive health is super important. And then, do you take supplements? Are they the right ones for you? A lot of people are taking supplements completely randomly, absolutely no idea whether they're doing the right thing or not, spending a small fortune on supplements that they've got from, you know, the health food store, Holland and Barrett, whatever, and they don't know whether it's making any difference. I always say to them, do you feel better? Like, what did you start taking it for? And has that symptom resolved? Because if it hasn't, then chances are it's not actually helping. So then why are you continuing to spend money on it and put it into your body? At best, it's a waste of money. And at worst, it's actually causing more imbalances in your body. You can't just randomly take a load of supplements. You might have seen earlier today, I posted a reel. It was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek one, but about the amount of times I get messages asking me what supplements should I take? This is from people that I don't know. I don't know anything about their history. I don't know anything about their diet, their lifestyle, nothing. I would never recommend supplements to somebody unless I know their health history, what medications they're on, and also having seen a mineral test, because having done this work now for a few years, having transitioned from what I was doing before in nutritional therapy to really focusing on minerals and mineral balancing, I won't make recommendations apart from perhaps essential fatty acid like a fish oil. Most people need that, and there's very few contraindications with that apart from a couple of medications. But apart from that, I won't make recommendations because I don't know, and I'm not going to recommend something that might actually cause you more damage. I wouldn't be insured if I did, so I don't do that. The minerals, the mineral testing that I run is a very specific test that is looking at tissue levels, cellular levels of minerals, and it gives us a lot more information than any of the other tests out there. Now, do I just run that test? Yes, I can do. If you have blood labs from your doctor, perhaps you've had, you know, your blood chemistry done at the GPs, maybe you've got your thyroid, your iron, some of the iron markers, things like that. I will look at it alongside, but the minerals is an absolute essential, because I can't recommend supplementation if I don't see the results of this test first. Everybody that works with me, no matter which level you work at, which program you go through, we run the test. Why? Because it's how I fix myself after massive burnout, after losing a parent, and it's how I have got really amazing results with clients that have often tried loads of different things, even been to different practitioners and not got the results, because the simple fact is that they weren't looking in this place. And for the symptoms that I really work with, which is loss of motivation, fatigue, low mood, slowing down body, metabolism at a snail's pace, you know, brain fog, brain not working as fast as it should, the body basically just on go slow. It's an absolute brilliant approach, because we are tackling at the root cause, which is minerals, fundamentally, and the other three pillars of menopause health, which is your gut health, your energy producing glands and system, and your blood sugar. So that is, I hope that's helpful. That is a good way for you to start to think about whether there might be mineral imbalances, give you some ideas of what you can do on a very basic level. You know, I don't just give people supplements from mineral testing. We work on all these other factors as well. You can't do one without the other, but these are some things that you can do yourself, you know, to think about all these things I've covered. You know, what symptoms do you have? Whether you are taking medications, could they be depleting you? What are your hydration levels like? Is your water clean? What's your digestive health like? You know, do you have any gut issues? Because that could be a pointer to the fact that you aren't absorbing properly. You know, what are you eating a broad diet, or are you eating the same foods day in, day out? You know, are you eating lots of different fruits and vegetables and produce? Then and are you eating good quality protein? If you're not doing those basic things, then doesn't matter what I do with minerals, mineral testing and everything else, we're not going to get the best results. We might get some, but we're not going to get the really big results that I want my clients to get, because you haven't got everything in place. And that's why it's 6 months that we're working with me, so that we can do that whole piece and look at everything and really restore your body. It's like a reset. We're resetting the body, because that's what a lot of people need. All right, I hope that was helpful. If you have enjoyed that, would you please, wherever you're watching this, if you've watched it on Instagram or Facebook or on YouTube, if you could please give it a like, so that more people see it, and that I know that this is the kind of information that you enjoy me sharing. Do share it. The more people see it, the better. And yeah, give it a like, give it a comment. If you've got any questions, you can comment wherever you're watching, or you could just DM me, send me a direct message, or you can email me support@vevital.com. That's VEEVITAL.com. All right, I will leave it there. Take care. Have a great day. Bye for now.